Hello, I'm Dilly MacFarlane, and this is the Alumni Special. Today my guest is Sister Virginia Turner, who is the Administrative Director of Adsum House in Halifax. Hi, Sister.
Hi, Dilly.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Great. You graduated from the Mount in 1974?
Correct.
In what area were you studying at that time?
BA.
BA. What did you do after that?
Oh, a number of interesting things, and I eventually found myself as a candidate with the Sisters of Charity.
And at that time, were you one of a few young women who were planning to become sisters?
Yes. In fact, I think we were the first group who had come along for about 5 years. And there were 3 of us at that time from the metropolitan area who had asked for admission.
I see. So where did that lead you, Sister, when you decided to make your life's work with the religious order, the Sisters of Charity? Where did you go from there?
Well, we have a 3-year period of entrance into the community, and the first year is what we refer to as an associate year. So I lived in a community house with other professed Sisters of Charity. I was employed full-time at a job and continued to live with the sisters in basically what we might call in the old days the postulant stage. And after that, I was granted admission into our novitiate program, and our house for the Canadian novitiate is located in Herring Cove. So I was there for 2 years, and I made my first vows in 1977.
I see. That was it was an interesting time because most young women weren't following career paths of that kind. I think a lot of women that I knew at that age and at that time in your life,
yes,
their goals and aspirations were quite different. You made an interesting choice in the middle of what I would think would have been the prime of the me generation, the 70s, where all of a sudden the issues that were being concerned on an outward basis, world peace with the Vietnam War and so on, in the 70s things sort of came back to me and my concerns and what my rights are and all that sort of thing. So it's interesting that you made such a choice. And into a professional area that dealt with the needs of the community as a social worker.
I think it was a time, I think you're quite correct in your analysis of the time of career and so on. I never really expected that God would call me to be a Sister of Charity and to make that kind of response. And my
you
career...
You weren't the only one that was surprised, I'm sure.
My career aspirations were something entirely different in terms of actual lifestyle or of a choice of, you know, either marital status or a single life. That was a surprise to me, too. But I have been grateful to God for the call. I think that in terms of actual career of what I might be doing, I think of where I have been for the past 10 or 12 years is probably in keeping with what I might have been doing, whether or not I was a Sister of Charity. Fortunately, God has continued to call me in this type of ministry work and to serve with other sisters in this area and other many dedicated lay people.
So where did you gain your professional accreditation? I know that you've studied beyond the bachelor level, did some graduate work. Where was that?
Yes, I was working at Home of the Guardian Angel, who are also this year celebrating their 100th anniversary of service to the community. And following that, I was granted a 1-year study period by the community at McMaster University in Hamilton, Ontario. And I studied there through their School of Social Work. And my thesis was around the area of female offender needs in the community.
So this is leading to, of course, to the development of the support system that's available to women in need through Adsum House. Can you tell us a bit about the history of Adsum House, how it got started? In fact, what does Adsum mean? It's an unusual word, isn't it?
Well, Adsum House was established, we're in our 4th year of operation. We'll be celebrating an open house soon. It basically means I am here, loosely translated, that we are here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with a fully trained staff and a volunteer corps, 60 individuals who offer their time. And the shelter is open to women 16 years of age or over. We've had women as old as 83, 84 years old. And we can accommodate 18 women per night. And we offer the basics of food, clothing, and shelter. Also peer support, and hopefully through our advocacy workers, we're able to assist women find more permanent shelter, which is a difficult thing, or employment.
How many residents or clients, I suppose, do you have now in Adsum House?
Today, I think there were 17 in the house.
And how long would they stay on an average?
We usually say it's an emergency shelter and people can stay 2 weeks, but that can be extended. In 1986, we had more than 500 women in-house, and the average length of stay was 8.5 days.
Jenny, what does this cost on a
lot
daily
of money.
basis? I'm sure. Now, I'm sure that in your reckoning and figuring,
Yes.
what would it cost to support each of these women for one day?
Well, we have a basic per diem rate, which is $33. That doesn't come anywhere near really off meeting those needs. Our budget for 1987 is in excess of $200,000 to try to offer a good wage to our staff and the basic operational cost. We operate solely on a per diem basis with no guaranteed monies from any level of government. So there's, of course, a great burden on our board and staff to fundraise, and we have to ask the public for their support. And we're very fortunate. Last year, in 1986, we had a goal of $60,000, which we were able to achieve. And in 1987, we're into Project 90, which is to raise $90,000.
Oh, that's very ambitious. How many of you are at Adsum House? How many permanent employees and how many volunteers help you in your work?
Well, we say we have 6.5 staff. That's all divided over our full-time, our part-time, and overnight relief workers. And the volunteer corps averages between 50 and 60 individuals, without whom we wouldn't be able to operate the facility.
And they assist you with your fundraising, do they, as well?
With fundraising, with working in the house, any task that we need, they're certainly there to help us out.
I understand you have some special events coming up to help you with your fundraising campaign.
We certainly do. We have an open house coming up soon on March 5th, 3 o'clock to 6:30 p.m., which we invite members of the public and friends of Adsum House to come by and see the house, join with other people of coming by and having some seafood chowder, which we have received from local benefactors. And following that, on March 10th, we will be having an ecumenical civic leaders prayer breakfast, which the president of Mount St. Vincent University, Dr. Herson, will be our guest speaker, along with other civic and church leaders. And that's at the World Trade and Convention Center.
That sounds pretty. I hear there's one more really exciting event.
Well, we have two. On March 19th and 21st at Scotia Square, we have our annual book and record sale. So many people come out to that and donate to that, and they could leave any donations at Adsum House on Brunswick Street. Our most ambitious undertaking is a unique fundraising opportunity whereby we have joined forces with another group, Services for Sexual Assault Victims, to host, under the distinguished patronage of the Lieutenant Governor and her honor, the Abrahams, what we are calling the Lieutenant Governor's Ball, which is a very nice evening that's planned beginning at 6:30 on April 11th. That's a black tie, business suit optional reception, dinner dance type thing.
Oh, it sounds marvelous. And where can tickets be obtained for this, and how much do they cost, and so on?
You may make reservations through our association office at 422-3389, and we have the tickets are per person. For a table of 10 would be $90. For a table of 10 for 900, table tickets for 2, 190, and a single ticket 110. And we're doing very well.
Well, that's marvelous. I know that I'm going to do my best to try to sell some tickets for you, too. So
Thank you very
if any
much.
of you are watching, I'm going to be having those tickets available in my office. So if you want a ticket, you can give me a call, too. I'm interested to know a bit more about Adsum House itself. The atmosphere, is it a family-type atmosphere, or I'm trying to picture, imagine if a woman was referred to you and came to your door. What is the first thing that happens?
The very first thing is that, like in any home, we would invite the guest to come in, and we would offer her a hot cup of tea or coffee, probably first, especially on these very cold days or year-round. We try to make the individual feel welcome and comfortable. If she's been on the streets for some time, we don't usually go into asking a lot of questions. We try to make her comfortable and at home. And it's a home-like atmosphere that we try to maintain. It's not a group home, it's not a large institution, and it's not a flop house. It's a place where maybe the song that Billy Joel has, you need a little time to come on in and get on the road again, to get a second wind. And that's our thrust. That's what we try to do. And so we would ordinarily get the basics of somebody's name, or where could we contact a next of kin. Those are the only things. Then try to identify over the next few days what would be the short-term goals, perhaps find a place to live, and what are your long-term goals? Do you want to pursue education? Perhaps if your children have been apprehended, are you in the court system? What can we do to help you get back on stream again?
And then you, in turn, refer the individual to the appropriate agency.
To existing services, whether it's the medical profession or legal profession or employment services. And, you know, the women who come that we say we try to serve are from so many backgrounds and educational backgrounds, from grade 2 through doctoral programs, for whatever reason have ended up on the street, whether it's been a family breakdown, a marital breakdown, whatever has happened. And when I said to you 500 came in 1986, every story was so different. And the ages are different. We have a large age group between 16 and 25, and then some more of women 40 plus. And it's a very life-giving experience for the staff and volunteers, and to meet so many people.
Sister, who did this before Adsum House came into being? Who provided that? I mean, it's a very vital need. And who took care of these women before Adsum House was there?
It was a gap in service. There wasn't anything per se that would offer what we think we're offering. And even now, we're the only facility east of Montreal that has as its mandate to provide short-term housing, and also we're looking at trying to provide some more long-term units in the city of Dartmouth. It wasn't there. So 5 founding organizations said, I think this is a gap. Let's join together and see if we can make this a reality. And they, as a board of directors and as founding organizations, they certainly had an uphill battle to convince people that there was a need.
Who were the 5 founding organizations?
St. Peter's Roman Catholic Church, Dartmouth, Grace United, Christ Anglican Church, Sisters of Charity, and Sisters of Good Shepherd. And then the board is also composed of 10 members from the metropolitan community at large.
Sister, if anyone who's watching the show today would like to help in some way, they just need to call Adsum House. It's listed in the directory.
It sure is, right in the beginning.
And anything from fundraising to hands-on volunteer work to helping to promote the cause of Adsum House, or again, in fact, if anyone is watching that needs your assistance.
That's right. We like to be able to say to anyone, that any woman who is out there, you need not go through a police department or a social service or anyone. If you can't find somebody to get you there, call us, and somehow we will arrange for you to get there.
Sister, thank you so much for coming to talk to us today about Adsum House and about your work with women who are in need. And I'd like to invite anyone who would like more information on Adsum House to call the alumni office at Mount St. Vincent or to call Adsum House directly. And for now, I'll say goodbye, and I'll see you next week again on the Alumni Special.